The streets of Phoenix, Arizona have a problem. Crime, violence, disorder. The inmates are running the asylum. By asylum, of course, I mean the Valley Metro rail system. Our law-abiding citizens supposed to get to work on time with the looming threat of villainy hanging over their heads. How can there be justice when good men stand by and do nothing? It seemed like all was lost until amidst the chaos, one man chose to spring into action. The light rail avenger. The subway samurai. This is the legend.
It's folded, tempered, and it does its job.
Of Kairo Seijuro. Today's episode is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. We all have our everyday grooming routines, from showering, to brushing our teeth, to yes, shaving. For example, I've gotten into the habit of waking myself up in the morning with a freezing cold shower, and I know that sounds miserable, but trust me, it's good for you. No matter what your routine, Dollar Shave Club has everything you need to make you look, feel, and smell your best. And a lot of you have probably already heard of Dollar Shave Club and think they only stick to shaving products, but don't let the name deceive you. Dollar Shave Club can solve all of your grooming needs in one box. Shower products, oral care products, hair products, skin products, butt wipes, and obviously shaving products. Basically, if you have a body, they have you covered. And not only do they ship them to your house, but the more you buy, the more you save. They call it their handsome discount. And now's the time to see how amazing and high quality their products are. Right now they have this great offer where you can get their shave, shower, or oral care sets each for $5. And they sent me all 3 of their sets. The Shave Starter set comes with the Executive Razor and 3 ounces of their Dr. Carver shave butter. The Oral Care set comes with their weighty toothbrush and a trial-size version of their toothpaste. The Shower Starter set comes with 3 trial-size versions of their Amber and Lavender Body Cleanser, their Citrus and Hawaiian Ginger Facial Cleanser, and their Sage and Black Pepper Shampoo, which is probably my favorite thing of all the things that they sent me. Join the club with one of their starter sets for just $5. After that, their restock box ships with regular-sized products for the regular price. Get this exclusive deal at dollarshaveclub.com/Whang today. Fight videos are probably one of my greatest guilty pleasures on the internet. UFC is cool and all, but to me, nothing quite beats the enjoyment of watching 2 completely untrained jamokals swinging wildly at each other while some chick screams in the background. Oh my god, Justin, I thought you were above such uncivilized things. I thought this was an intellectual YouTube channel. Come on. But sometimes you wind up in a situation with those videos where it's not really a fair fight. Either there's a big size differential, or people are getting ganged up on, and then you have people in the comments who are like, how can you sit there and film this? Why don't you stop them? And then they talk about all the heroic things they would have done to break up the fight, you know, from behind the safety of their keyboards. In reality, most of these people wouldn't do shit, and if they did, they might get the worst end of it, because that just seems to be what happens when you go and break up fights. That is, unless you happen to have a sword. And that's exactly what happened on October 13th of 2012, when this clip started to go viral. It begins with a bunch of guys yelling at each other on a train, and eventually it escalates into a fight where you have 2 guys ganging up on one guy. That guy is getting his ass beat until all of a sudden our hero whips out his katana and charges at them. Everybody freaks the fuck out, the attackers run off the train, and the day is saved. So this clip starts spreading all around the internet, it's getting news coverage, and people are asking, who was this sword-wielding vigilante?
That guy was there for a reason, you know? I feel like, you know, there's no accidents. Yeah. And he was totally there for a reason, and I feel like, hey, you know, dude, wherever you are, rock on.
It was NBC 12 News of Phoenix, Arizona that wound up catching up with him and producing the interview that would be the peak of his viral fame. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Kairo Seijuro.
It was 2-on-1. None of them saw Kairo Seijuro move around behind them.
To them, they probably thought I was just moving out of the way, but I was actually setting up to where their blind spot was.
I can't quite put my finger on why, but he doesn't really look like a Kairo Seijuro. Maybe more like a Steve or something.
This is about what you saw on the train. It's folded, tempered, and it does its job.
Kairo says the 3 men on the train are lucky they ran.
I already had a full 5-stage plan ready to take everyone out. and anybody else who got involved, just in case. That's just the way I do things. If he had gone on me, I was planning to go in completely, drop the sword down, and then completely cut it, completely gape him open.
He definitely just visualized one of those anime fight scenes where a sword goes through a guy, but nothing happens, and then all of a sudden the top half and the bottom half slide apart.
And my family couldn't handle me. I had a surprisingly strange affinity for sharp objects, particularly kitchen knives, when I was a kid.
So he traded in the knives for a lifetime of studying the sword. The katana goes with him everywhere.
I actually carry this because I've become a little bit more dangerous than without it than with it. So it's more of a restraint mechanism than a safety blanket.
And it was after this interview came out that Kairo Seijuro was elevated to true meme status. And the reaction was kind of interesting to me because there's kind of like a duality to it. On one hand, it's getting the kind of mockery that mall ninja weeb shit just tends to get. And he's also getting a bunch of praise heaped on him, a lot of it unironic. He did legitimately save someone's ass, and he got to live out this hero fantasy that most weebs only ever get to daydream about. How can you not root for a guy like that? Well, there was at least one person who wasn't rooting for him. It was on October 23rd of 2012, as Kairo Seijuro was reaching his viral peak, that a YouTube channel named Samurai Guy Truth was created. On this day, Samurai Guy Truth uploaded 4 videos exposing secrets about Kairo Seijuro. The first video exposed the squalor he lived in and had this caption: "The day I filmed this, he had cooked our last bit of pasta, all our food, and put a note on it saying we are not allowed to eat it because we leave dishes everywhere." So I decided to reveal the truth about this hypocritical way of living and making your roommates who buy your food starve.
Hello YouTube, we're gonna find out how clean my brother is because he likes to say we're really messy. We're so freaking messy, woo. Okay, here's his room. Okay, let's get a first glance at everything in the room. Total mess. As you can clearly see, he's a very clean person, so clean. Alright, let's see. He likes to say we leave dishes and don't clean our own dishes. Let's see. There's a plate, a bowl, a spoon, a cup, garbage, 2 jugs, by the way. 2 jugs. More garbage. As you can clearly see, garbage. More garbage. Oh look, that's a quick thing. Oh look, more cups. Oh look, more garbage.
The second video shows Kairo comparing swords with a strange man at what appears to be a motel. His name is really Kenneth. I call him Kenny. He goes by Kairo, because he thinks it's Japanese for energy. Here is your hero. Watch the rest of the videos. I'm sure that steel does not come in 181D. JS Kairo. I have to bullshit with him to keep him from being a pissy, whiny asshole. BTW. This is the only good day of our life. And the next 2 videos get a bit more serious. BTW, this was over him not wanting to admit he lied about something he was caught dead lying about. His past. I'm his brother. I know him and he never lived in Japan for 15 years in a Japanese death squad. He was in a foster home because he was abusing our younger brother and chasing me with knives.
And my family couldn't handle me. I had a surprisingly strange affinity for sharp objects, particularly kitchen knives, when I was a kid.
And then there's a final video entitled Abusing His GF. Before I moved in, this was every day. I had to sit in fear knowing there was nothing I could do but take the verbal route afterwards. They are not together anymore. Someone needs a wake-up call. He's an evil person. It should be noted that in this video, neither Kairo nor the girlfriend are seen. All there is audio of a fight in another room. After these videos were released, the Phoenix New Times attempted to contact both Kairo and the man claiming to be his brother. Neither of them responded. However, they did manage to cover the origin story behind his name. A dating profile set up by Kairo sort of explains the naming issue. Despite all comments I've received from people out here, I do still carry my katana Ray. I was raised into it by my master Hiko, and I adopted him as my father figure since he practically raised 14 years of my life anyway, and named me Kairo, so I took up his last name Seijuro for honorific reasons. That, and it sweets my character better. Sorry, most people ask. It should be noted that Kairo Seijuro is a character from the anime Rurouni Kenshin. Could it be that perhaps Kairo Seijuro didn't spend 14 years from when he was 9 years old training to be a swordsmaster in Japan, and maybe, just maybe, he got it from an anime? I don't know, let's call it a 50-50 shot. Ultimately though, most people were unaware of this attempt to expose him, as these videos over the course of about 6 years only received a few thousand views. And over the course of the next few years, the video would pop up from time to time and he would go in and out of viral fame, but it was the most hardcore followers who were watching him on Facebook. And it was on Facebook that you could follow all of his exploits, such as his heavily detailed dreams about Inuyasha, and his sword technique demonstrations. Or the time he got kicked out of a restaurant for bringing his sword in. Good news, I've been kicked out of Main Street Restaurant indefinitely. All because the chooses to single me out owner made an issue from nothing about Kaze Toki, whom I routinely placed behind me covered by my coat out of courtesy of the other customers, and his no weapons policy, except I called him a hypocrite since there are knives at every table, people with utility / work / personal knives, and police that are fully loaded and armored plus taser that come to eat. And I ordered at least $40 worth of food, was still waiting too, and he threatened to call the police if I didn't leave. And it was drenching wet outside and was still soaked. I may just kill this pitiful hypocrite. Seriously, his disrespectful behavior almost got to me. And if you were to visit his Facebook page today, you would notice something else. At the top of his profile, it reads, "Remembering Kairo Seijuro." Now, I have absolutely no idea how Facebook knows when you die, but they are correct. It was in September of 2016 that Kairo Seijuro, the Light Rail Avenger, met with his tragic demise. Clear Lake, California. A man known for carrying a Japanese sword with him everywhere drowned in Clear Lake after falling out of his kayak while on the way to an island to practice his swordsmanship. The body of Kenneth Anthony Jacinto, 30, of Clear Lake, was recovered on Monday, according to Lieutenant Steve Brooks of the Lake County Sheriff's Office. Brooks said Jacinto was reported missing on September 2nd after falling out of his kayak in the water off of Clear Lake. At about 6:15 p.m. that day, Central Dispatch received a call about a boating accident that occurred offshore of Austin Beach, Brooks said. Brooks said the report came in from a 16-year-old female who had been in a boat with Jacinto. The teen told authorities that she and Jacinto, who she identified as her swordsmanship teacher, had launched a small kayak from Austin Beach, Brooks said. A 30-year-old man kayaking to an isolated island with a 16-year-old girl might sound a little bit creepy, but I'm not gonna make any assumptions. I mean, if there's anybody in the world who would be going through all this trouble just to teach someone the art of the blade, it's this guy. So Kairo Seijuro and his young apprentice are paddling to this island when all of a sudden a strong gust of wind blows it over and knocks them in the water. They try to return to it, but the wind blows it away even further. And this was a notoriously dangerous body of water that had already claimed 4 lives that year. But not wanting to leave their swords behind, Kairo Seijuro tried to swim back to the kayak. But it was to no avail, and eventually, as his body gave up on him, he yelled out the word, "No," and disappeared underwater, never to be heard from again. The girl was able to safely swim back to dry land, where she told the police what happened. The police went to look for Kairo Seijuro, but they were unable to find him. They were only able to recover the kayak and the swords. It was 3 whole days later that Kairo Seijuro was found by another kayaker. And thus ends the tragic tale of Kairo Seijuro, the Light Rail Avenger. If you like this video and you'd like to hear the story of another famous internet swordsman, check out my video on the Star Wars Kid. I'm out of here.